Okay, so I've got Sharon coming. That's lovely. Sharon's joining us. Hi, Sharon. Nice to see you. Hi, Lawrence. Nice to see you, Sharon. It's lovely to meet you this week. Those of you who are brand new here, thank you very much for coming along. We run this session. I have been running this session almost 6 months. I can't believe it. It's nearly 6 months we've been running it every Wednesday. We started off as an experiment and it's just grown and grown. However, next week will be the last lunchtime session. That's the 13th. And then we're moving from the 10th of January. I'm moving to evening, and it's going to be 7 to 7:45 in the evening UK time. So that's 19 to 19:45 UK time. It's fitting in, that'll fit in much more with what I'm doing. And quite a lot of people have said they would like to come on to this, but they're still working. So in the evening, it gives them a chance. Okay, so I'll get started. Hi, Vladimira. Vladimira, always in her car, comes in as usual. That's fantastic. Just to say thank you very much for being here. My name's Fiona Campbell. I've been working with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, for over 30 years, specifically for business and coaching. Now, NLP, for those of you who don't really know about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming is the methodology of how we create behavior. So we learn to use language, we learn to use our state, our listening capabilities, our non-verbal skills to really create highly advanced communication skills in business. So this is really all about it's all about, I believe, NLP, especially the way we use it in business, it's advanced communication skills. What we do in this session is very quickly, I go over 10 minutes, I go over one of the techniques that we're using, and then we put you into a breakout room. You get a chance to chat with each other, have a wee chat, maybe talk about what you've just covered. You can share some of the ways you use that, or if it's something new, you can maybe discuss how you're going to use that. And then we come back and I'll let you know about, I've got 2 dual certification NLP business practitioner, business coach training starting in 2024, March and September. We'll let you know about the advanced communication skills training and also the NLP Business Circle Club for people that are NLP trained. The 50% offer is closing on the 31st of December. So that'll be going up to full price. Hi, Alison. Lovely to see you. And thank you for connecting with me on the the Global NLP Summit. Okay, so today let me just share my screen. Today, it's we're talking about the art of setting up successful outcomes. So our brain is compelled to answer anything we ask it. This is something, please write this down. If you've never heard this before, write this down. Now, just so you know, I don't give you handouts and we don't share these slides, but you can watch this again in YouTube. But what you can do, I'm happy for you to take photographs. I'm very happy. If you've got any photographs that you want to take as we go through the slides, and obviously you can stop and ask me questions at any time. But if you haven't understood that our brain is compelled to answer anything we ask it, write that down because that is huge. Because this is a natural function of the brain, we can use this to set out or frame successful outcomes. When you use language purposely to direct what you want others to focus on, you're more likely to get the outcome you want. Now, I want to share, when I start, let's see, Morch is just coming in here. When I started delivering, not when I started delivering leadership development training, I was in sales for many years and I attended so many training courses, so many sales training courses and leadership development courses. And you were left to do what you wanted with it. And lots of people would go on to training. And for me, it was maybe 1 or 2 days entertainment. But when I started doing my leadership development training, I thought, and also my NLP training, I said, I want people to know what to do with this. So by framing it, you're actually giving people instructions. Hi, Morcha, nice to see you. You're giving people instructions of what you want to do. So we insist, when we work with corporates, we insist that we write the invitation that the participants receive. We write the email that goes out to the participants, because in that email, we are framing the expectations. And the last session we did last week was all about the power of expectations. So we're actually setting people up so they know what to expect, but also what they're expected to do. This is really important, what they're expected to do with this event that they're coming to. So that's number one. If any of you are doing training at all, please make sure you get involved in the invitation stage, because if you don't get involved in the invitation stage, guess what happens? People arrive at your training all with their backs up because you've taken them away from a busy work at work, and that straight away they arrive ready to, not all of them, but many people will feel, what's the point of this? This is taking me away from valuable work time. So what we do here is, it's an invitation. They're invited to further enhance their leadership skills. Think of the difference of saying further enhance your leadership skills rather than you're invited to a leadership development training. So what we're doing here, we're using language to frame the fact that they're already leaders. They already have leadership skills. All we're doing is further enhancing. And just that tiny sentence makes people feel so much at ease about what it is they're coming. We also include the course content and expectations of results. Then when we actually go into the training, when I meet the participants, whether it's online or whether it's in person, doesn't matter. I always ask them right at the beginning, as they come on, if they're online, as they come into the room online, we'll spend some time at the beginning before we're doing introductions, or if they're coming into a training room, as people arrive and they get their cup of tea or coffee, I'll chat to them and I always say to them, how will you integrate what you learn this training into the workplace? Now, what I might ask before is, so what's your expectations for today? What's your expectations for attending this training? So straight away, I'm getting, it's amazing the number of people that will say, I don't know. And that is why we actually send a pre-course questionnaire asking people for their expectations, asking people what they're going to do with what they're learning, how they're going to integrate it, and what could stop them. And it's really interesting when you get these questionnaires back, because some people will answer, I don't know, I haven't attended the training yet. And another person coming on the training will say, I've looked, because you're sending them the agenda, you're sending the course content. So someone else will look at the course content and say, I can use that, I can use that. So straight away, you get a real great insight into the way of the mindset of the people that are arriving. What results do you expect to achieve? And what examples of this do you want to bring back to share with your colleagues of what you've achieved? We actually do this as a sort of flip chart exercise at the beginning of trainings. We're asking them, how are you going to integrate what you learn in this training in your workplace? See how that's framed, that you're going to take this and you're going to use it. We're expecting you to get results, and then we're expecting you to bring back the results. What do you think happens when we bring people back and they bring all the results? What do you think? Do you think people turn around and say, oh, I just didn't do anything? We end up with an incredibly powerful document that then we can put into the report of the training back to show this is what this training has achieved. This is your return on investment. This is what you got back. Rather than just leaving people to hope that they'll integrate what they're learning, we make it very specific. And we really get people focusing on how they can integrate what it is they're learning. This preparation frames this as a programme where the participants are going to become even better leaders, learn to apply tools and techniques, will get results that they can share with others. So something really powerful about accountability and getting people to verbalise what they're achieving. There's been a few trainings that I have done last year. There was one company in particular where we were doing about 7 different lots of training within the company, all about enhancing your communicating and coaching skills. And we actually ended up one day, we got people back for half days at the end to discuss the results. And the people in the morning, their managers would be coming in the afternoon. They wanted to stay and show their managers what they'd achieved. They were so proud to show their managers, look, and it was all written up, and that gets all written in flip charts. That all gets taken and all gets put into the report that you're sending back. But it's so wonderful to see people in front of their peers. I achieved this and I achieved that. And when everyone's all sharing, they're all learning off of each other. So it's a very, just by framing the learning, it's huge. And this is backed up by great examples we get at the end of the programme where the participants are excited to share everything they achieved. And you'll even get people saying, I didn't quite get what I expected. I remember one particular guy was actually going to set up a training, and he was a warehouse team leader. He hadn't really worked in any areas at all. He'd never done a PowerPoint before. He'd never trained on something before, but he decided as part of the training, he wanted to train his team. And there was a particular thing he wanted to train them on. And he came back, he said, I didn't manage to do it in the time I did, but we're doing it in 2 weeks. He said it took an awful lot longer than I expected to put it together. But look at that fabulous learning of someone taking their time, understanding what it takes to do things that we're setting out to do. And then this is one way that we have built a reputation as a training company that gets results, because we can show the results, because we're framing. And let me just share something with you here also. Whoever asked for testimonials on LinkedIn, put your hand up if you asked for testimonials on LinkedIn. How do you frame your testimonials? Frame your testimonials by asking maybe 2 or 3 questions. So you're talking about, you'll mention the course they attended or the coaching program they attended. What did you achieve as a result of this training? How has that made a difference? And what else would you like to learn? You can make up your own questions with this, but people get, think of it, someone says, can you give me a recommendation? It's a blank screen they've got. When you guide them into what you want, that's why you'll see some people have really particular testimonials that really talk. A testimonial, someone say, oh, you're really good. That's very nice. But it's no use to clients. It's no use to clients at all. You want to know what was the problem, how that problem was solved, and what's the result. There you go. There's the 3. What was the problem they came with? How was that problem solved, or what happened to solve that problem? And what happened to solve the problem, then what was the result of solving this problem? What was achieved as a result of solving this problem? If you just put that in your testimonials, any testimonials you're asking, any feedback sheets, you'll get much more valuable information because you're framing what you want people to give you. And then, so NLP frames are the frame or context in how you view something affects the way you see it and the meaning it has for you. This can also be thought of your frame of reference. The different frames can be imagined as the lenses that magnify certain information that we are interested in and filter out all other information. Just put your hand out. And I want you to imagine you're holding 134 marbles. You know what marbles are, the small glass spheres, okay? You're holding 134 marbles, and I chuck 11 million marbles at you. And you're trying to catch and still hold 134. 134 marbles are the equivalent of the bits of information that we can focus on at any given moment of time. The 11 million are the 11 million bits of information that we could be focusing on at any point of time. So in business and coaching, you cannot leave it to chance for people to get the idea of the direction you want them to go. We've got to tell people. They've got to be instructed in some way to know what to focus on. They're a way of focusing your clients on different outcomes, helping them to take a step back and think. They're also a way to influence outcomes because you're influencing the direction you want someone to go in. All you're doing when you're framing something is you're magnifying. That's what I want you to focus on. Out of all this, that's what we want you to do. And the lovely thing, there's a lovely secondary gain that comes from this. The lovely secondary gain that comes from this is all of a sudden people find your training really easy to follow because you've made it easy for them to know what they have to do and what they have to focus on. Now, there's lots of NLP frames, and we don't have time to go into lots of NLP frames. We cover all this on the NLP dual certification courses. But the ones that are useful for getting results, outcome is the outcome frame we're focusing on today. We also have as if frame. So as if, so it's thinking about something as if it's already happened. An agreement frame is fabulous in business. So if someone has a different opinion from you, or they're coming from something that you know is not going to work, you just agree with them. I totally agree with you. And then you take them in another direction. But you've agreed. I agree with what you're saying. However, have you considered that we could do it this way? It's ways of taking people in the direction that will get the best results. Because remember, that's all we're working with, getting the best results in business coaching. Then you have the relevancy frame, when something is relevant. The open frame, an open frame is something that lots of people do unconsciously in meetings and then wonder why the meetings take so long. They just say to everyone, okay, so let's have a discussion. Or any other, the worst open frame you can ever use at a meeting, right at the end of the meeting, any other business. And it completely negates everything you've been focused on in the meeting, and it just opens up people's minds. So it's becoming aware of these different frames for business is so important. Backtrack, that's going back and just going over everything that's been covered. And then discovery frame. What can we discover from this? This is a way where you're asking people to be creative, to use their brain discovery. But we go into a lot more detail of these frames, and you can look that up on the internet. You can check and see all these different ways to do that. So today, as I said, it's only the outcome. And I was showing you earlier how I use the outcome frame for a training. So an outcome frame is a structured set of questions and considerations used to clarify and define a desired outcome or goal. It is a tool that helps individuals gain a clear understanding of what they want to achieve and the steps they need to take to reach their goal. The outcome frame is often used in coaching as a way to help clients refine their objectives and create a concrete plan of action. I teach my business clients to use the outcome frame for meetings. So using an outcome frame for coaching, outcome, clearly define the desired result or goal. What do you want to achieve? What specifically, what's the outcome? And it's what's the outcome of this session? And it's interesting because sometimes you get clients to write down an outcome and they find as you're going through the session, they're off on different outcomes, and it's bringing them back to that outcome, because we can only do so much within a coaching session, especially when you're a leader coaching in business. Because remember, as well as qualifying NLP business coaches, I teach a lot of business professionals, business leaders, how to coach in their business. And then evidence, determine how will you know you've achieved the outcome. So you've got to clarify, what will the outcome be? How will you know, what will it look, sound, and feel like when you've achieved that? What will be different? What will you see, feel, hear, or experience that will let you know you've succeeded? So how will you know when you've got to that outcome? And then the context and ecology, considering the broader context and potential consequences of achieving that outcome, how will this goal impact on other areas of your life and business? Again, in coaching, it's looking at the outcome. We've got to look, is what someone's wanting to achieve, is it absolutely viable or not? Is it possible or not? If someone comes to me and says, I want to take a university degree, and when do you want to achieve that? By 6 months' time, I'm not quite sure the university you're going to do a degree in 6 months. So we've got to look, you've got sometimes as a coach or a business leader, you've got to help people really understand and clarify, are the goals they're setting for themselves realistic or not? And also, how will it affect their life and business? Is this aligned with your values and overall well-being? Do you have to work 24 hours a day to be able to achieve that? Do you have to never see family and friends to be able to achieve that? Do you have to put yourself under incredible stress to be able to achieve that? Because that putting yourself under stress is going to affect the way you come across in your business, which could impact on achieving that goal. But you can see, even just looking at the outcome frame, there's a lot to consider in this. Resources, identify the internal and external resources you have or need to achieve the outcome. What skills do you have, strengths or support systems can you utilize? And this also brings in things like external help and your internal resources, your own skills, but who's supporting you? Who can you talk to? Who can you spend time with? Who can you have a laugh with? Who can you download to? Who can you vent to? Who believes in you? Who's challenging you? Who thinks what you're doing is the biggest load of rubbish and you'll never be able to do it? We've all got them, haven't we? We've all got these wonderful people who champion us like mad. And then steps and strategy, outlining the specific actions and steps you need to take to move towards the desired outcome. What can you do to make progress? So sometimes you've got to break these steps down into really manageable steps. So the first step, determining the initial action to take, begin moving towards outcome. What is the first thing you can do right now to start making change? Because when you're working with an outcome frame for someone going to be achieving an outcome, if it always stays out there, it will always remain a dream. You have to get them doing something now, right this minute, to get that started. Not tomorrow or not next week. Set the sorry, now any questions for that? I know I'm going quickly. I just want to cover this before we put you into breakout rooms. Anyone get any questions or any? Is it useful? If it's useful, put your hands out. Yeah, okay, that's fantastic. Okay, so the next part is using outcomes frame for meeting. Set the expected outcome for the meeting. This could be anything from making a decision, generating ideas, solving a problem, or reaching a consensus. Never, ever send out an agenda for a meeting. What happens if you just send out an agenda? What's an agenda? Who wants to come on to the microphone and share? What's an agenda?
I'll go.
Yes, Morcha, yeah.
I suppose a certain plan of what should happen or the focus for the meeting.
Is it? It's a list.
Yes.
Is it a list of expectations?
Is it a list? Is it a list of expectations? If you just see an agenda, we've got this, that. It's normally topics. We're going to cover this, we're going to cover that, we're going to cover the next thing. That's what tends to be an agenda, okay? Rather than sending an agenda, set out the objective for the meeting. By the end of the meeting, we will have achieved this. By the end of this meeting will take 20 minutes. By the end of 20 minutes, we'll have made a decision to do that. That changes, that's framing it completely differently. The number of people I've taught thousands of business professionals to do this, and they can't believe how quick their meetings become. Because people come with an expectation. Remember, you can go back to YouTube and watch last week about expectations. So people come with an expectation, then the outcome, and they're expecting to get that outcome, and that's what they focus their brains on. And they finish with, we're going to show you a little bit the different steps that happens with this. So it's, what's the expectations for the meeting? The outcome should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time, but it's going to be a SMART expectation. Keep the meeting focused on the specific outcome you have set. People will go all over the place, and really people who can chair meetings beautifully will turn around and say, that's not for this meeting, we can meet again for that. This meeting, the objective is to get this. And keep people really focused on, this is what we're doing, because human beings, who's heard the expression herding cats? It's like herding cat. Our brains are going off at tangents, and if you let people have free rein to play with their brain, you're never going to get anything done. It's as simple as that.
Fiona, can I ask something?
Yes, of course you can.
Wouldn't that lead to longer meetings, actually? People wanting to do things their own way and propose their own way, and then it gets a bit diverted.
It depends who's chairing the meeting you set. What you do is you set a time. You set a time for the meeting, and we'll achieve this within that time. And you keep to the time really quickly. I've had people take meetings from 3 hours down to 20 minutes, and they're getting better things done in 20 minutes than the 3 hours. Because they keep focusing, okay, we've only got 10 minutes. What's the best thing we can do with this? What's the outcome we can get here? We've only got 5 minutes. So it has to be kept very close to time, because you're right. If there's no time element in this, it expands all over the place. So that's why when you're setting the objective for the meeting, you're also setting the time that the meeting will be. We expect to get this within a certain amount of time. Who knows about Parkinson's? Thank you. Okay. Who knows about Parkinson's law? Parkinson's law is that time will expand or contract within the time we have to do a job. Some of the most effective meetings happen when a building's on fire or there's an emergency where people have got to do things quickly. The brain just gets very focused. Based on the outcome frame, discussions collaboratively develop an action plan. So yes, you still need people's input, but only focused on that thing, not giving their life stories and their examples and everything. And again, when you're working with outcomes, people have to be confident to go, stop that. Yeah, that's great. Let's get back to the point. Let's get back to the outcome that we're looking to get here. Determine the specific steps needed to be taken to achieve the desired outcome. Assign responsibilities and set deadlines to ensure accountability. So in that, it's okay, so who's going to do that? You're going to do that, so write that down. When will you have that done by? And get them to write it down and sign it. We know this works beautifully when we're working with Grow Model in coaching, and it works fabulously when you're in meetings also. Encourage the participants to imagine achieving the desired outcome by asking them how it will look, sound, and feel when we've achieved this. So you're talking in present tense of it having already achieved it. The brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So the more you can get someone to imagine having achieved something, the more it becomes aligned with them and the more they can imagine getting on and getting it done. This technique will help create positive and motivated mindset, increasing the likelihood of achieving the intended results. At the end of the meeting, review the action plan, responsibilities and timelines. Schedule follow-up meetings or check-ins to monitor progress and make necessary adjustments. Remember, the NLP outcome frame is a tool for enhancing communication and goal setting. It's important to create a collaborative and supportive environment during meetings where participants feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas. Everything that we do within neuro-linguistic programming is underpinned by the fact that we can only work with people in an open and honest and trusting environment. You can teach outcome frames to people, but if that person running a company is working on command and control, telling people what to do, people are frightened of them, nothing is going to change. So sometimes we've got to go into the top management and help them work with their mindsets first. Okay, so let's get some breakout rooms open. We're going to go in for 7 minutes. It's only a 7 minutes. We'll come back at 7 minutes past. And just go in, meet the people you're with in the rooms, say hello, and maybe discuss a little bit about how you've used this or maybe something you're taking away from today. So we'll see you back here in 7 minutes. On YouTube, we'll send you the recording.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, Fiona. Thank you so much for doing this. This is such a wonderful topic.
You'll be pleased to know, with where you are, that in January, we're moving this event to 1900 to 1945 UK time. So we're moving it to awesome. Evening time, because I know there's quite a few people in the States interested in coming in. Yeah,
absolutely. This has been a great series. I really have enjoyed every single one of them so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And everything, as I said, is on YouTube. And the email that comes back after that will give everyone the ability to go and check that.
Outstanding. That's great news. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, can I ask someone a favor? Is anyone able to take a screenshot and send it to me? Because thank you, Sharon. If you can just send that, because I'm just looking, everyone's got lovely contrasting colours today. We're all in Christmassy purples and reds and pinks and everything, which looks fantastic. Okay, so what did you get from that? Let's get feedback from a couple of people. What did you get? Thank you, Douglas, for that feedback. Who wants to go first? Okay, thanks, John.
So we had a bit of a discussion about agendas and words, and not one format fits all.
Nope.
The key thing is that some organisations need an agenda. It's just in their psyche. But it doesn't matter. It is the words that are important. What is it's framing, as you said, framing that agenda outcome. And also we discussed a couple of examples how some very skillful people would bring the meeting back on board by just keep reiterating the purpose of this meeting is.
Yes.
That just reframes.
Yes. And as you say, it's just keeping people focused on what the outcome. And this is why when we're using the outcome frame, people have to be clear of what outcome they need before they even start. Thank you for that. Morcha.
Yes, I had a lovely meeting, Alison. We had such a nice chat, and actually we went to the direction how frames are useful, obviously in meetings, in organizations, working with others, but also for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a great from Alison, kind of she inspired me to think, my mind was feeding me all the examples of, yeah, whenever I use specific frames in certain life areas, situations, it's almost like a filter. It completely changes my perspective, changes my attitude towards it, energy towards it. It's just brilliant. The frames are actually, and also I was thinking, we actually use frames whether we know it or not, and often when we do it unconsciously, if things don't seem to be working, we're probably using a frame that's not working for us.
Yes.
And it inspired me to actually go and look, where do I think things aren't working? What frames am I using without knowing? So it's really inspiring.
And that's really, and you've just pointed out one of the skills of a highly experienced NLP professional is they're very conscious about their own thinking. You become very conscious about what you're thinking. And even the frames, look at the difference. Oh, I've got a lot of work to do today. What can I get finished? What have I to finish today? And I'm very aware, I use the word finish myself a lot, but I can't stop until I've finished it, because I've framed that I'm going to finish it. It's not just going to be work that I'm going to do. I've framed that what's going to be finished today. And even teaching people that in business, teaching a lot of my coaching clients. So what self-talk are you using for getting the outcomes you want to get? Okay, thank you. So just to let you know, next week is the last daytime meeting, last lunchtime meeting we're having. And next week it's going to be using stories for influencing others. We're going to be talking about the unconscious influencing of stories. From the 10th of January, we move to evening UK time. Still the same format, 45-minute format. If you can't make that, but still want to keep in touch, everything will still come up onto YouTube. So just to let you know, we've got the registrations now open. We're running 2 dual certification NLP business coach, business practitioner programs this year. The one in March fits with USA times. We're actually starting in the afternoon and working through till 9:30 in the evening. Still fits a little bit with Europe as well, but doesn't fit so much with Asia. Just email me for details of that. And then the one in March is back into our normal starting 8:30 UK time. These courses run over, it's 3 modules, 3 to 3.5 hour modules a day. So it's full day's work, even if you're starting the afternoon, full day's work. And the one that's for the States time, we're doing it in 3 3-hour modules. So that's 32 modules. And the one that's for UK is 28 modules. And it's the full, this is what I'm doing now, is the dual certification. So we're bringing in business practitioner and coach, and it's accredited by the Association of NLP. If you just want to find out about NLP for business, this offer closes on the 31st of December. This is Thursday the 8th, Friday the 9th, and Friday the 16th of February. This is also being run over 2 times. This one is 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock, and we're rerunning on the same dates that course from 1500 to 1800 UK time. So we know there's quite a few people in the USA and Canada now are looking to join these courses. So we're changing types. That offer closes on the 31st. And if you are NLP trained, this is your last chance. The offer closes the 31st of December to get 50% discount on the NLP Business Circle Club. The NLP Business Circle Club, we have now had our 3rd anniversary, which is phenomenal. And we've got the archives go back to December 2020. We're going to be doing some changes with this. So in January or February, we're going to be setting up a community area within the club. And also we're going to be setting the masterclasses in such a way that the people who are members will automatically, you can go through and work through the recordings and you'll get certificates for each masterclass. So you get your CPD certificate, but we'll also be opening up just the online for people to come. They can do individual masterclasses, but as a member, you will get access to absolutely everything. Plus, we're going to be opening up some Q&A sessions, and we've got 2 live masterclasses every month, 2 2-hour live masterclasses every month, but we'll bring a couple of sort of ad hoc, just Q&A sessions to really build a community, because we've got a fantastic archive of material now. Lots of people who have been very loyal to the club over 3 years, and just we're looking to take it into even more of a community. So thank you very much. If you would like to have a 45-minute complimentary strategy session with me, just contact me at fiona@theprofessionalgrowthcompany.com. I'm happy to set up 45 minutes complimentary with you to discuss maybe what you want to do a bit of coaching with you, let you know about my coaching programs and also the NLP trainings. But apart from that, just thank you very much. Can I just say thank you for all attending? It's been a pleasure to see you all again. Go and enjoy the rest of your day. And if anyone wants to chat, I'll be here for 5 minutes because I've got a meeting with Magnus and I are going into a wee meeting after that. But I'm here for 5 minutes if anyone wants. Thank you very much. Sharon, if you can just email me that or through LinkedIn or whatever, that's lovely. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Okay,
Thank you so
take
much.
care.
Bye, that was
Bye.
awesome. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Fiona.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, thanks a lot.
Okay.